Steph Stricklen with GeekWire Studios here at AWS reInvent. I want to introduce you now to my two guests. This is a fascinating conversation about no tech debt, and I'll ask about that here in just a minute. Let me introduce you right now to Gopinath Munusamy, the Global Head Digital Process Management Enterprise Solutions Unit at Tata Consultancy Services, TCS, as well as Ravesh Lala, the Global Head of Legacy Transformation at Pegasystems. Gentlemen, thank you for making the time today.
Thank you, Steph. Thank you.
To be here.
Now, while we can't see it because of how we're positioned, the back of your jacket says no tech debt, very big with an extra. Tell me what that means.
So, you know, we live in a time where a lot of organizations are hampered by tech debt. You know, I don't know if you saw the pyrotechnics and the other day where AWS, was trying to put an end to tech debt. So tech debt is what is actually holding us back from a business process change perspective. As regulation is changing, businesses are changing. What's holding back business change is actually tech debt. So we're in the business of eliminating tech debt. That is our main message. So we'll talk a little bit about that, how we're using AI to eliminate tech debt.
So let's broaden that conversation now and bring you in as well, Gopi. So from your experience, what are the biggest challenges facing sort of legacy modernization?
Great question. In fact, this topic of legacy modernization very close to our CIO and CXO's heart, due to the fact that many enterprises still rely on the legacy mainframe applications for a robust and rigid. Many of the aspects will have a lot of a technical depth. Any changes, it's take time sensitive and a lot of charges, right? Biggest problem with the skill set. It is impacting a lot. So with our experience with the TCS, top challenges what we see for this is complexity and risk because of the monolithic architecture, less documentation, and data migration with accuracy. Third area which we look at as a skill and culture, because resistant in the cultural change, right? And the last one is security. At the TCS, we approach modernizations with a strategic business transformation approach. And we start with the strategical way, 4R framework, which is to decide either you re-host, re-platform, re-fragment, or retire your application. And we ensure the automation and AI on top of it. TCS Mastercraft fully powered with the GenAI capabilities, which helps automatically analyze and generate, which saves 70% of mainframe modernization effort and faster 2 to 3 times of the development time. And the recent launch of TCS Janus, which was helping for a non-code application like end-user computing, FileNet, and SharePoint, Lotus Notes, migrated to the Pegasystems technologies with art of possibility with a 30 to 50% of reverse engineering effect. And we are partnering with the AWS for our cloud native architecture and with the low-code, no-code Pega blueprint, helping converting the business reimagined processes, which help modernizations converting a monolithic application to the scalable and future-proof applications. So in short, with the TCS, we combination of deep contextual knowledge, automation, our strategic partnership to help modernize your applications into the scalable and future-proof.
I see you smiling. He's obviously, on board, and you're talking about that partnership. I want to talk though about like banks and other big institutions like that have a lot of guardrails around them, and how sort of AI and what Pega brings to the table can really help in this effort.
So if you just step back for a second and look at the evolution of technology, when a lot of these business processes or applications were developed, early days of banking, insurance, healthcare, there was only one platform. It was the mainframe, which Gopi started talking about, right? And when these applications were written, we did not have object-oriented programming. We did not have cloud services, right? So code in these applications was written 30, 40 years ago, which we very fondly call as monolith, 2 million lines of code, very average, right? And an inherent intrinsic in this code is knowledge about a client's mission-critical business applications. The reason why these applications have not moved to the cloud yet is because it was, as humans, very hard for us to analyze millions of lines of code, understand what part of the code is has what sort of business logic, and how does that map to how business gets done today. It was a very hard problem for humans to do that. Today with AI, we're able to use AI to analyze these applications, understand the business logic, understand the integration, understand the data dependencies, and be able to recreate those applications on more modern platforms like AWS, using AI, using agentic architectures, and Pega is the platform that actually helps bring it together. So we work with AWS and TCS to really work with them on their installed base, leverage technologies from AWS to reverse engineer these applications, forward engineer them on Pega's Blueprint platform, and then be able to redeploy those applications in a more modern agentic AI architecture on AWS.
And freeing up developers, freeing up engineers to start solving the problems that are coming instead of the problems of the past. I love this.
That's how we're eliminating tech debt.
Yeah, trust me, I'm tracking. This is fantastic. I want to close by offering some key takeaways, perhaps recommendations for other businesses that might be looking. And I'd like to hear from both of you, but I'll start with you, please, Gopi. What recommendations would you offer for businesses?
In my view, every modernization has to be looked at with the business transformation approach. So with a decade of TCS experience, 4 recommendations I can give for whoever's embarking on this journey. First one is, start with your business-driven portfolio assessment. Don't start with the code. Every business vision to value mapping and the right priority will help to make a right return of investment. Second, preserve your knowledge and reimagine with the business logic as processes, right? What does that mean is, currently lot of GenAI tools, accelerator like TCS Mastercraft, TCS Janus, help it automatically analyze, reverse engineer the code, give the documentation, which has a context of all the logic you build over the time. And then you can feed this document to the Pega Blueprint, which will give the reimagined process workflow, so that you are not losing any of the context, plus you are entitled with the latest compliance, right? Third aspect is mainly activate as a factory model. What does that mean is, don't go for a big bang approach. Start small, but start now. That's my view. To making sure the lessons learned, best practices implemented across the board for other implementations. Fourth and the last one is build for change. Continuous modernization, right? We have to ensure right partners are onboarded like TCS to make sure cloud native architecture, DevOps related pipeline, scalability, everything embedded as part of your modernization, so that you will be still proof with the successful future. Hope that helps.
It does very much so. Would you like to expand on that? What is your perspective?
So what I tell clients, yes, the business process dimension is really important, but start small also, right? Because in the past, look, a lot of our clients here, this is not the first time they're approaching modernization. There is a lot of modernization fatigue. They've tried that, they've failed, they've not been successful. But what's different now is they're using AI, we're able to focus on one business process and focus on taking that process, not the entire million lines of code, but 100,000 lines of code, and understand which process that maps to, and reimagine that using AI, and then deploy that in short cycles. So take a very small incremental approach, not the big bang. Because we've tried the big bang, we know it doesn't work. It's, AI allows us to take, break the problem down into smaller problem statements and then take them one at a time. That we start small and show value quickly, then these things start to take it, the journey starts to build itself.
In fact, I can give one example. With the underwriter program, which usually takes 9 months to 1.5 years, with one of the large insurance customer, we are able to implement with the 3 months. That shows the power of combination of right partners, right product, with the power of Pega Blueprint.
Gentlemen,
Speed.
thank you. Yeah, there's speed.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Steph. Thank you.
I'm Steph Stricklen. You've been watching GeekWire Studios.